From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good Tuesday morning and happy Cinco de Mayo. It's going to be a lovely day out there. We'll have highs into the 70s and 80s for lower elevations, but the weather is going to get a little bit dicier towards the middle and end of this week. Winds picking up, the fire threat picking up, and maybe some blowing dust in the mix by the time we get to Friday, which is looking like it's going to be the worst day. Wednesday and Thursday, we're mostly concerned about the Kittitas Valley, that combination of high winds and very dry vegetation. But by Friday, all lower elevations could see the risk of fires and blowing dust, gusts anywhere between 35 to 60 miles per hour, with the fastest wind gusts obviously still being in the Kittitas Valley. We'll take you back to this morning where it is mild out there, 50 for the Tri-Cities, 59 for Walla Walla, 63 for Sunnyside. Here's your coat cast for the Cinco de Mayo for the Tri-Cities, light jacket stuff through about 9 a.m. After that, it's going to be light, or excuse me, it's going to be t-shirt weather. Plenty of sunshine out there, highs getting into the 70s and 80s. A lovely day. We'll have more of the same all throughout this week up until those winds pick up, which we'll talk about coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
6:01 is your time. Here's what's happening in your news headlines. A man disappears during what was supposed to be a routine family outing. Now crews are searching rugged mountain terrain in Umatilla County. Coming up, the growing effort to find him and where the search stands this morning. Plus, a warning for parents across the state of Washington. Mini bikes are becoming a bigger problem on public roads. What troopers say needs to change. And the countdown to wildfire season is underway. Crews are already preparing for increased activity. This morning, we will break down the common causes officials say you can avoid. Those stories and more straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest at 6 a.m., which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
It is Tuesday, the 5th of May, which also means it is Cinco de Mayo. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I am Austin Reed. 6:02 is your time. Wendy is anchoring our evening shows tonight, so I will be with you the rest of the week. Looking forward to it. All right, let's get to your top stories now. We begin this morning with a developing search in Umatilla County. Search and rescue teams are continuing to comb through mountain terrain for a missing 69-year-old man, last seen during a family mushroom hunting trip over the weekend on Sunday afternoon. Umatilla County Sheriff says Mickey Dean Stearns of Stanfield was last seen north of Mount Emily Snow Park. That's off National Forest Road 3102. He's described as 6 feet tall, about 220 pounds, bald, and was wearing a white t-shirt, tie-dye shorts, and red walking shoes. Multiple agencies are assisting in the search using drones, canines, air support, and ground crews. Officials are going to be back at it today. They are asking the public to stay clear of the area near Forest Road 3102 so search efforts are not disrupted. 6:03 is your time. Prosser man now facing multiple charges after police say he was driving with a blood alcohol level more than 6 times the legal limit. Cops say they spotted the 43-year-old driving erratically Sunday afternoon near Wine Country and Old Inland Empire Road, where he nearly struck another vehicle. 2 breathalyzer tests reportedly showed blood alcohol levels of 0.499 and 0.488. Police also say they discovered an outstanding warrant for another DUI charge. The driver now faces charges including driving with a suspended license and driving without an ignition interlock device. Now, a warning from Washington State Patrol to parents and drivers. This after a growing number of dangerous incidents involving minors riding mini bikes on public roads. Troopers say these bikes are not street legal and can't safely keep up with highway speeds, creating a serious risk for crashes. WSP says some of these bikes top out at around 35 miles an hour, while traffic on highways can move at more than 70. Many also lack basic safety equipment like headlights or brake lights, and in some cases, riders aren't wearing helmets. Troopers say they are treating these situations as a priority, especially after a recent incident involving a minor riding across the Blue Bridge.
If you're driving along and you happen to see one of these mini bikes on the freeway or the state route, please dial 911. That is an emergency. We don't want to see them get ran over. We don't want to see somebody in the motoring public run them over and then cause a chain reaction when there's multiple collisions.
Troopers say parents could also be held responsible if they knowingly allow their child to ride on public roads. They urge families to make sure kids are using mini bikes only on private property. 6:05 now. The start of May means it is the beginning of wildfire season across central and southeast Washington. Firefighters are telling citizens to stay alert and make smart choices. Between 80 to 90% of wildfires are caused by humans, and experts say the majority are preventable. Many wildfires start on the road when a vehicle is dragging chains or has mechanical problems, creating sparks. Other common causes include recreational burning and shooting. Firefighters this morning say it is important to keep these causes in mind as the weather gets drier and hotter.
This is the month where we're going through and double checking all of our equipment, and we're retraining all of our firefighters, doing our annual refresher for wildland fire safety. And so we're kind of gearing up. About that mid-May and June, we'll start to see more activity pick up in the basin.
Information for burn ban days can be found by calling designated burn programs. 6:06 is your time. Up next on Good Morning Northwest. Gunfire erupts near the White House. Secret Service agents opening fire on a suspect on the National Mall. It comes as a separate case tied to an alleged plot against the president moves forward in court this morning. We'll break down what investigators are still trying to sort out about the shooting and the questions now being raised about security in the nation's capital. And let's go outside. Live picture from our Skycam network. This is in Ellensburg as work continues on the rodeo grounds there. Beautiful shot this morning. It is Cinco de Mayo. Hey, quick traffic alert for drivers. US 97 milepost 74 to 75 between Wapato and Union Gap today. There's going to be a continuous single lane closure both directions and a 10-foot width restriction for construction work. So keep that in mind as you're out and about on US 97 today. Josh is coming back too. He'll have a full look at your first alert weather forecast. Stay with us as we are on your side.
Protect your dreams under our roof.
How about the name Indigo?
I like Sapphire.
Sapphire.
And based on how you drive, you could get a rate as personal
What about Big Blue?
as the car you love. Get a quote at amfam.com.
Now, what are we gonna name the baby?
At Smoke City for Less, we understand every smoker is unique. Explore our over 1,500 vape flavors and specialty curated selection of tobacco products. Your perfect flavor and blend awaits at any of Smoke City for Less 6 locations. Save your pennies. Smoke City for Less has the lowest prices. Find the best vape mods, batteries, kratom, and specialty products too. Our knowledgeable staff is always on hand to provide personalized recommendations. Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
If you're looking for a high-quality trailer at the right price, this is the place.
My experience at Broadmoor RV has been professional, on time. They answer all my questions.
For me, what I was impressed about was no pressure whatsoever, and we had a lot to choose from, which was great.
Don't wait. It's as simple as that. It's just a great way to spend time with your family.
It feels like a home away from home. Broadmoor RV makes camping fun.
Ghirardelli caramel and chocolate. They're great on their own, but together, it's like the Watson to your Sherlock, the SpongeBob to your Patrick, the bestie to your spa day, the apprentice to your sensei, the partner to your picnic, the hero to your sidekick, the caramel to your chocolate, the chocolate to your caramel. Perfect pairs, share a square. Ghirardelli makes life a bite better.
poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. At my law firm, we have a team that knows big truck wrecks. Big truck insurance companies know that we have the knowledge and experience to get you paid everything you deserve. Call the heavy hitter. When I call the insurance companies, they listen. Hit by a big truck, I know how to be their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
The heavy hitter is the one for you. Call 853-2222.
Protect your dreams under our roof.
How about the name Indigo?
I like Sapphire.
Sapphire.
And based on how you drive, you could get a rate as personal
What about Big Blue?
as the car you love. Get a quote at amfam.com.
Now, what are we gonna name the baby?
This newscast sponsored by Multicare Yakima Memorial Hospital. Excellence you can trust. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Our forecast is going to stay fairly steady, at least in terms of precip chances and temperatures. We're looking at 70s and 80s with not a lot of precip chances in the forecast at all. But here's your day planner forecast for the Cinco de Mayo for the Tri-Cities. Going to be around sunny and 75 by lunchtime, and then pretty close to, if not exceeding, 80 degrees for the warmest part of the day. In fact, we're going to be a little bit closer to 85 in the Tri-Cities when it's all said and done. 79 for Ellensburg, 83 for Sunnyside, 77 for Walla Walla. A gorgeous day out there. And the trend over the next 7 days, I'd say it's all going to come out in the wash, if not trending a little bit cooler. There's some ebbs and flows to it. The coolest day is going to be Friday and Saturday. And even by then, we'll almost be up around 80 degrees in the Tri-Cities, still 5 degrees warmer than normal for this time of the year. No precip chances to speak of, which is a little disheartening. Okay, the UV index will be high for today on a scale from 1 to 11. It's going to be a 7, so that means within 15 to 25 minutes, your skin, if it doesn't have on sunscreen, could burn. So be sure that you are applying the sunscreen, SPF 30 at least, reapplying at least every 2 hours, if not more, especially if you're dipping in and out of the water or if you're sweating. And you can find a full list of UV safety posted online at AppleValleyNewsNow.com. Okay, but the biggest threat this week will come in the form of high winds, very dry vegetation. We'll see a fire risk. We'll see a blowing dust risk. We'll talk about all that coming up in a few minutes.
Josh, thank you. 6:12 is your time. A shootout near the White House under investigation after Secret Service agents opened fire on a suspect. A young bystander was also hit. As the scene quickly unfolded and the area was briefly locked down, it comes as a separate case involving an alleged attempt on the president is back in court, adding new attention to security concerns. This morning, ABC's Hannah Battah has the latest.
This morning, a suspect is in the hospital after a shootout on the National Mall. Secret Service agents exchanging fire with a gunman blocks from the White House. A young bystander caught in the crossfire. The Secret Service says plainclothes agents spotted a suspicious man they believe to be carrying a concealed weapon.
They observed a print, we would call it, visual print of a firearm.
When uniformed officers moved in, they say the suspect ran, then opened fire. Agents fired back. The White House was briefly placed on lockdown. The press office evacuated. Coden Colburn, visiting D.C. from Michigan, heard the shots.
I was thinking, I want to get out of here, and I want to get my little brother and little sister out of here.
The Secret Service says a child was hit by the suspect's gunfire, but will recover. Authorities emphasizing they don't know if the suspect was in any way targeting the White House or government officials. Tensions are still high after the recent shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. That suspect, Cole Allen, who's accused of trying to assassinate President Trump, was back in court yesterday. In a remarkable moment, the judge apologized to Allen for the way he's been treated in jail, being placed on suicide watch. The judge asking why Allen has faced harsher treatment than the suspects in the January 6th attack faced. After the riot at the Capitol, the judge saying, people got closer to killing the president that day. I'm just trying to understand, why is there this great difference between Mr. Allen's situation and what happened there? Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
Prosecutors say the suspect had told investigators he did not expect to survive the alleged attempt on the president. His attorneys asked to cancel Monday's hearing after he was removed from suicide watch, but the judge refused, citing serious concerns about his treatment in custody. Allen is due back in court next week. All right, your time now, 6:14. Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth is back with a look at your full First Alert weather forecast, what you can expect as you head out the door on this Cinco de Mayo. Hey, we do have a quick alert for you. Emergency crews are currently on the scene at North Gap Road and McCready Road. This is in Benton County. It's due to some kind of hazardous condition. This is just outside of Highway 12 and Interstate 82, north of Prosser. So if you see some emergency crews there, they're working on that right now. All right, we'll be right back.
Ever feel like something's missing? Like there's a hole in your morning routine? Well, we've got just the thing. At Some Bagels, we make more than fresh bagels. We make a variety of baked goods to fill your day with everything you've been missing. Have your favorite coffee drink with our in-house roasted espresso beans. And enjoy your bagel with our flavored cream cheeses. Because at Some Bagels, the only thing better than the hole in the middle is everything around it. I want some, you want some, we want some, gimme Some Bagels.
My mind felt hazy and gray. I couldn't follow conversations. It was like I was in a fog. I was sleeping way too much. I was missing out on activities with my family. I felt underwater. Now I know it was depression. Recognizing my symptoms and finding support helped me manage it. Learn more about your symptoms at seehowifeel.org.
How about this? Heads, you go to Northern Quest. Tails, you go to Northern Quest for the $70,000 coin flip frenzy. Just play daily with your Camas Rewards card to rack up entries and earn 4 times entries every Tuesday. Then you could be flipping your way to $35,000 in cash on May 28th. The $70,000 coin flip frenzy. Only at Northern Quest.
They're not fancy. No leather seats, no powerful sound systems, but they have wheels, seatbelts, and AC. These are Apple Valley News Now cruisers, and they go where news happens. Because Apple Valley News Now is everywhere you need us to be.
Reporting from Ellensburg, Grandview, Tri-Cities, and Ridgeland.
From the Blues to the Cascades, one television station leads the way with local news you trust. Oh, and when you see one of our cruisers, please go ahead and wave. We're Apple Valley News Now.
And we're always on your side.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
All right, folks, welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We do have an alert day in place for Wednesday and Thursday. We're mainly concerned about the Kittitas Valley with this round. Winds are going to be high. The vegetation is going to be very dry. We'll talk about Wednesday and Thursday in just a second. But first, I wanted to talk about the overall synoptic setup. We have this, you see, there's just kind of like this big gap in satellite imagery. That is indicative of an area of high pressure. But you see all these clouds looming, this cold front here. This, unfortunately, not going to bring us any rainfall, but it will pick up those wind gusts. And so that will pose the fire risk. So we'll take this day by day. First for Wednesday, see gusts in the Kittitas Valley up around 50 miles per hour. Still windy for the basin and for the Yakima Valley and the foothills. Vegetation dryness, it is going to be very dry. Level 3 out of 5 indicated by this orange color. See that overlap of the winds and the vegetation dryness there in Ellensburg. Then for Thursday, this is, of the 3 days, this is probably going to be the weakest of the 3, but still gust up around 40. I wouldn't be surprised if this trended back up to around 45, 50 miles per hour for Ellensburg for Thursday. Still blustery for the rest of the region. And again, vegetation dryness is going to be that level 3 out of 5, very dry. Okay. The grand finale is going to be on Friday, though, and at this point, we're going to lump in all lower elevations, the Yakima Valley, the lower Columbia Basin, the Bluefoot Hills, in addition to the Kittitas Valley. Some of those gusts between 35 to 60 miles per hour. There's going to be an elevated fire risk and a blowing dust risk as well. So the peak gust on Friday, you see the basin, the foothills gust up around 50 miles per hour, closer to 60 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley, and vegetation dryness, once again, going to be that level 3 out of 5, very dry. So the next half hour, we'll talk about how to prep for dust storms, but this half hour, how to prevent wildfires, follow fire restrictions, secure ignition sources, use equipment carefully, report smoke very quickly. You can find this list posted online at AppleValleyNewsNow.com. Okay, here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities, mostly 80s and sunshine this week, although we'll have the potential for blowing dust on Friday. In Yakima, highs dropping briefly into the 70s by Friday and Saturday, with the windiest day being Friday. In Ellensburg, high winds and a wildfire threat for Wednesday through Friday. Can't rule out blowing dust on Friday either. For Hermiston, winds picking way up by the end of the week, with fire and blowing dust concerns on the rise. Finally, for Walla Walla, the same cycle, beautiful weather through Thursday, then dicey with the winds and very dry vegetation on Friday.
Okay, another warm day.
Yes.
All right. Thank you much. As temperatures climb here at home, it is not just people feeling the heat. New data shows how hot weather can also impact how far electric vehicles can go on a single charge. I have a funny story about that, actually, but I'll let you take it away.
Okay. Well, AAA looked at both electric and hybrid vehicles to see how temperature affects performance. At around 95 degrees, EV range drops by about 8%, while hybrids see roughly a 12% dip in efficiency.
That is less dramatic than what happens in the cold, where EV range can drop nearly 40%. But with warmer temperatures on the way, drivers could still notice a difference in performance. Okay, so here's my story. Saturday, I go with my mom. She's got an electric car, fully electric, and I'm driving it. We were in Pasco at my daughter's gymnastics. The EV was down. It said it had like 10 miles left to go, and we had to get to the charging station in Kennewick. And my mom kept saying, it was hot Saturday, too. Hot. I mean, it was in the 80s.
It was very warm.
It was warm. It was warm. And she's freaking out because we're continuing to see the EV number drop. And she was like, Austin, you got to turn the AC off. And I'm like, I don't want to turn the AC off. So I know exactly.
But you made it?
We made it.
Oh.
3 miles to spare. Yeah, it was.
Had to sweat it out.
I had to sweat it out. All right, your time now, 6:22. Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest. A case closes for Britney Spears. The stage goes quiet for Dolly Parton. And a new chapter begins for Cameron Diaz. This morning, we are following some of Hollywood's biggest names, making even bigger headlines. Details are just ahead.
Hi, I'm Rowdy with Total Energy Management. For 40 years, we've been keeping the Tri-Cities comfortable with top-notch heating and air conditioning services. We take pride in delivering exceptional service and unbeatable deals. Right now, you could save big with up to $3,200 in utility and cool cash rebates available this spring. At Total Energy Management, we will ensure your house is the perfect temperature year-round. Visit TEMINC.com or call 946-4500 to learn more.
Every home starts with a move. Not just the one to a new address, but the moves along the way. The choices, the negotiations. In those moments, certainty matters. That's why Windermere Group 1 agents are trained, supported, and prepared for every step. Because when it's time to move, you should be sure you're making the right one. Windermere Group 1. Confidence in every move.
Bath Planet brings life back to your bathroom with expert remodeling, custom designs, fast installation. And right now, save $1,000. Call for a free estimate today. 509-851-0669.
Have you heard? Tempur-Pedic sleep is better sleep. With innovative materials developed for astronauts, Tempur-Pedic mattresses reduce motion transfer, which means less tossing and turning, so you can sleep undisturbed through the night. But which Tempur-Pedic is right for you? Come to Denver Mattress and test for yourself. Let our expert sales staff guide you to your perfect Tempur-Pedic. And right now, save up to $1,000 on select Tempur-Pedic Split King sleep systems. Or check out the Consumer Reports recommended Doctor's Choice Plush. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right Tempur-Pedic.
When working, take breaks. Maybe go for a walk or get around and move a bit, because taking care of your mental health is vitally important. More at AppleValleyNewsNow.com.
Mental health services at Prosser Memorial Health's primary care clinics. Visit prosserhealth.org.
All right, 6:25, welcome back. In entertainment this morning, Britney Spears is closing out her DUI case. Her attorney entering a guilty plea to a reduced wet and reckless charge Monday, which results in less severe penalties.
Spears was sentenced to probation and credited for time already served. She was also fined and will be required to see mental health professionals. The charges stem from a March arrest after deputies say she was speeding and driving erratically.
From the courthouse to the Strip, where Dolly Parton has announced she has canceled her residency in Vegas. The country icon says health concerns are forcing her to step away from performing.
She says treatments have left her feeling too dizzy to take the stage. The shows had already been postponed before now being entirely canceled.
Meanwhile, actress Cameron Diaz and musician Benji Madden are sharing some family news. The couple announced the birth of their child, their third one, on social media this week.
The 47-year-old Good Charlotte guitarist and singer says the newborn's name is Nautis Madden. Obviously, that's the last name, but the couple have been married for more than 10 years and also share a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Nautis. That's an interesting name.
I think like the nickname for that would be Nat. Maybe.
Yeah. Our producer says it means sailor.
Yeah, like nautical, like the prefix there. I'm sure there's some interesting etymology that goes behind it.
Well, a buddy of mine, from high school actually, met up with him yesterday. He lives in Portland area, but he has his first child on the way, and his son's name is Zion. So instead of Ryan, Zion.
Interesting. Yeah. I like that.
Different names nowadays. All right, 6:27 is your time. Still ahead on Good Morning Northwest. A growing population is bringing new challenges to Grandview and Yakima County. Now police say they're planning for the future. This morning we'll hear from officials on how staffing could soon change in the years ahead. Plus, millions of dollars heading to communities across Washington, and Yakima County is set to receive the largest share. Coming up, where that money is going and the projects getting support. Details in your next half hour. So stay with us as we are on your side on this Cinco de Mayo.
Injured in a car crash? The insurance company can sure make you feel small. When you choose the heavy hitter, you get big help and big results. Injured in a car wreck? Big thanks. Get big help. Call me.
Call 853-2222.
Hot Tub. Major manufacturers and warehouses clearance of new 2026 inventory. Friday through Sunday. Benton County Fairgrounds, Kennewick. Over 100 hot tubs on display and everything must go. New 2026 inventory. Deep discounts. All inventory 40 to 80% off. See the revolutionary swim spa in action and save up to 60%. Trade-ins welcome. Free delivery. We'll even haul away your old hot tub. Worry-free installation. 18-month interest-free financing. Millions of dollars of inventory must be sold. Benton County Fairgrounds, Kennewick. Free admission. Free parking. Call 833-SPA-SALE.
The Inland Northwest is a vibrant community, rich in tradition and pride. And Culligan has a long history of providing custom solutions to address the area's water worries, like nitrates, bacteria, and PFAS. Culligan, water you love since 1936.
life happens. Lucky for you, the new ICCU Central Plus checking account comes with benefits, including cell phone protection.
Wait, through my ICCU checking account?
That's right. Along with a whole lot of other benefits you might need. Because being human is a full-time job.
From Apple Valley News Now, this is Medically Speaking.
My name is Lauren Martin. I started to work out at Hanford in 1982, and for 20 years I worked with the fleet, repairing cranes, locomotives, cars, ambulances, fire trucks, everything. After 20 years, then I came down with a disease. There are some very, very expensive drugs, and my copay on that is $0. All I have to do is pick up the phone and it's there.
So we'll definitely evaluate their past employment. As a registered nurse myself, I'll look through their medical records and I'll look to see maybe what medical conditions they have, and we'll be very upfront with them, honest about whether they do have a claim that could warrant benefits or not, and just kind of let them know what those next steps are, the timeline of how long it could take for them to get approved.
Washington workers, you can get a refund of up to $1,330 back on taxes paid last year. See if you qualify and learn how to apply at www.workingfamiliescredit.wa.gov.
Injured in a car crash? The insurance company can sure make you feel small. When you choose the heavy hitter, you get big help and big results. Injured in a car wreck? Big thanks. Get big help. Call me.
Call 853-2222.
This newscast sponsored by Multicare Yakima Memorial Hospital. Excellence you can trust. This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
6:31 on your time. Thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Wendy Redman. Oh, I just did the anchor man. I read it at the teleprompter. Oh, man. What happened? It's still early. I think I'm Austin Reed. Wendy Redman is anchoring our evening shows. Great to be with you, everybody.
Bring it to the dual box.
Yeah. I know who you are. Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth is here. And it is Cinco de Mayo. You can do, you know what's funny is also Cinco de Mayo is on Taco Tuesday this year.
Yeah, the stars aligning. It's a pleasure that I get to anchor with both Wendy and Austin.
Thank you. Wendy's in spirit.
Yes, loving it this morning on Good Morning Northwest. Hey, we're going to have a lovely Cinco de Mayo out there. Lots of sunshine, highs getting up into the 70s and 80s for lower elevations. We're going to maintain that all throughout this week, but the wind's picking up for the middle and back half of the work week, so that's going to pick up the fire risk. That's going to pick up the potential for blowing dust, specifically for Friday. So for Wednesday and Thursday, we're mainly concerned about the Kittitas Valley. Those gusts, or those winds are going to be very high, and the vegetation is going to be very dry. But then for Friday, this will feature the strongest, most widespread wind gusts. So now we'll lump in the Yakima Valley, the lower Columbia Basin, the Blue Foothills in with the Kittitas Valley. The fire risk is going to be up, and the blowing dust risk is going to be at its highest on Friday as well. Let's take you back to this morning where it is very mild out there. 50 for the Tri-Cities, 61 for Hermiston, 59 for Walla Walla. And so your coat cast for the Cinco de Mayo for Yakima. We're going to have light jacket weather up until 9 a.m. After that, it's going to be t-shirt weather with highs getting up into the 80s. 70s and 80s, good rule of thumb today for lower elevations. Lots of sunshine, a beautiful day. Our forecast is going to stay steady, but eventually the wind's picking up, which poses those risks, which we'll talk about coming up a little bit later in the show.
All right, Josh, thank you. 6:33 in 2 seconds. More than $5.3 million in federal grants are heading to communities across Washington to support critical infrastructure. Yakima County is set to receive the largest share, nearly $2 million, to build a new emergency operations center. Senator Maria Cantwell says the funding comes from a Homeland Security bill signed into law last week. She says the investments will help communities prepare for emergencies and strengthen essential services. Well, the Grandview Police Department says it is preparing to grow. The police chief, Cal Fuller, says Grandview has seen steady population growth in recent years, and the department is working to keep pace. Right now, the department has 19 officers, but Fuller says that number is already below where it should be. He adds if growth continues at its current rate, the department could need to expand significantly, potentially reaching around 30 officers within the next 5 or 6 years. Fuller also notes hiring isn't immediate, with the process from recruitment to full deployment often taking close to a year. He says as the community grows, the department will continue adjusting staffing levels to keep up with demand and ensure public safety. All right, 6:34 is your time. Still ahead on Good Morning Northwest. Winning championships is one thing, but leadership is another. Now, a Royal Student Athlete is being recognized statewide for both. Coming up, we will hear how his impact earned one of Washington's top student honors. And let's go outside. Live picture from our Skycam network. This is overlooking the city of Kennewick. You can see at the bottom of your screen, that is construction of the new convention center. Man, that is seeing a lot of progress right now. Hey, we do have an alert for you. If you are out and about this morning, we want to give you a heads up that there is a hazardous condition right now. This is at North Gap Road and West McCready Road in Benton County. And emergency crews are there right now. So if you are in that area, just watch for them. Josh is up next, too, with your full First Alert weather forecast on this Cinco de Mayo. 6:35, we're back after this.
This newscast sponsored by Multicare Yakima Memorial Hospital. Excellence you can trust.
For over 30 years, DuraShine Clean has been the Tri-Cities premier cleaning service. More than just sweeping and mopping, we're your partner for a clean and healthy environment. We protect your brand and improve your company's image. No business is too big or too small for DuraShine Clean. Our teams get the job done right for you. Need to sparkle? Call us today for a free quote and let us help your business shine. At DuraShine Clean, we keep it clean.
My mind felt hazy and gray. I couldn't follow conversations. It was like I was in a fog. I was sleeping way too much. I was missing out on activities with my family. I felt underwater. Now I know it was depression. Recognizing my symptoms and finding support helped me manage it. Learn more about your symptoms at seehowifeel.org.
You've been counting the days, weeks, months, just waiting for the Memorial Day Super Sale at Denver Mattress.
And right now, save up to $1,000 on select Tempur-Pedic Split King sleep systems and get a $300 gift. Or check out the Consumer Reports recommended Doctor's Choice Plush. And best of all, the more you buy, the more you save. Take $100 off every $1,000 you spend, plus 60 months, no interest, and free shipping.
The Memorial Day Super Sale on now at Denver Mattress.
Board-certified orthopedic surgeon Dr. Sam Strebel provides the full spectrum of orthopedic care.
A lot of times when I talk to patients, they're in so much pain that they can't do their hobbies. We can use the machine to balance the knee before we make any bony resections, and then that will hopefully translate to a faster recovery and a better, more natural feeling knee.
To learn more about services including robotic joint replacement at Prosser Orthopedic Center, visit prosserhealth.org.
Apple Valley News Now's Young Hearts thanks Shelby's Floral and Hapo Community Credit Union for supporting Bikes for Tykes. If you know a child who needs a bike but can't afford one, click Bikes for Tykes on our website. From Shelby's Floral, Hapo Community Credit Union, and Apple Valley News Now.
They're not fancy. No leather seats, no powerful sound systems, but they have wheels, seat belts, and AC. These are Apple Valley News Now cruisers, and they go where news happens. Because Apple Valley News Now is everywhere you need us to be.
Reporting in Pendleton, Ellensburg, Tri-Cities Airport.
From the Blues to the Cascades, one television station leads the way with local news you trust. Oh, and when you see one of our cruisers, please go ahead and wave. We're Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
Always on your side.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It is going to be a lovely stretch of weather, at least in terms of the precip chances and the temperatures. Now with the winds picking up later in the week, that's going to make it a little bit more dicey. But we'll talk about this beautiful Cinco de Mayo first. We start off in the Cascades, where highs are going to be in the 60s and 70s. Blue skies galore. Then for the Kittitas Valley, around 80. Technically going with 79 for Ellensburg, but mid to upper 70s in general for the Kittitas Valley. Mid 80s up and down the Yakima Valley, and then for the lower Columbia Basin, could be a little bit gusty here. Some of those gusts between 20 to 25 miles per hour, mostly in the 80s. Could have a few 70s on the map, Boardman and Connell. Then for the Blue Foothills, mid to upper 70s. Some of these gusts closer to 30 miles per hour. Finally, for the highest terrain of the Blue Mountains, we're looking at 50s, 60s, even some low 70s, 72. For Ukiah. Okay, those high temperatures over the next 7 days, I'd say in general the trend is going to be very subtly cooler, but you see we'll have some ebbs and flows to it. Looks like the warmest day over the next 7 days is going to be on Wednesday, and then the coolest day likely going to be on Friday. But even the coolest day is still going to be 5 degrees warmer than normal for this time of the year, and no precip chances in the forecast. And with that, pollen counts are going to be in that medium-high category, if not teetering on the high category, with the top allergens being ash, mulberry, and alder. This situation is going to get worse. There's going to be a lot of yellow in the air and on your car as the winds pick up later this week, and that's going to pick up fire concerns as well, and the potential for blowing dust. We'll talk about all that coming up in a few minutes.
6:40 is your time. Now to local sports. Abel Garcia from Royal High School in Grant County is one of 2 high school seniors to receive the WIAA's $5,000 Smart Choices Scholarship. The program honors graduating seniors for excellence in athletics, academics, as well as leadership and community service. Garcia is a member of the track and field and football teams. He became the first player in school history to start and win in 4 state football championships.
First thing that went to my mind was like, no way, you're pulling my leg. And, but no, they told me that I was one of the 2 and that they really liked what I had to say about Royal football and how like I helped my community around me. And yeah, it was just, it was kind of surreal. I didn't expect me to get this scholarship that so many people applied to.
Beyond athletics, Garcia holds leadership roles within multiple student-led organizations. He also helped launch Fiesta Royale, a celebration of Mexican heritage that united students in a school-wide event. All right, 6:41 is your time. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, we've got your morning sprint, everything you need to know before you head out the door this morning. And Josh is back with your full First Alert weather forecast. Stay with us as we are on your side.
Looking for a used vehicle? Trust the dealer with over 60 years in the Tri-Cities, Overturf Volkswagen. Find a large expanded inventory, fully serviced and thoroughly reconditioned vehicles, on-the-spot financing, top dollar for your trade. Overturf Volkswagen, Kennewick.
At Bruce Heating and Air, your comfort is our business. With over 30 years of professional HVAC experience for residential and commercial properties, you can rest assured your heating and air system is in good hands. In addition to providing quality heating, air conditioning, ventilation, and installation services, Bruce Heating and Air also houses a full-service sheet metal fabrication shop.
Now through July 31st, receive rebates up to $1,400 off on a new Daikin Fit system when paired with an eligible Daikin ductless system at Bruce Heating and Air.
Bath Planet brings life back to your bathroom with expert remodeling, custom designs, fast installation, and right now, save $1,000. Call for a free estimate today, 509-851-0669.
At the Pacific Campus, our medical care for seniors is built with intention. We take time, we listen, we create personalized plans designed for strength, clarity, and longevity. And because your care is inside the PC, wellness isn't separate from your healthcare, it's part of it. Membership isn't required, but many choose it to stay active and connected. Call, text, or stop by. We're always here for you. Your fourth quarter matters. Let's play it strong.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal with your choice of all this for just $7. Because a full-size meal without that satisfying sweet treat, that's like chicken strips with no dip, like a burger with no bun, like a sundae with no drizzle. Treat yourself to an honest-to-goodness meal with full-size fries, a drink, and dessert for just $7. And for a limited time, try our new honey sriracha dip. DQ, happy tastes good.
Celebrate the 28th anniversary of Legends in May. We're dropping fat stacks like it's hot every Thursday, every hour from 6 to 9 p.m. Wait, hold up. Wait a minute. It gets even fatter. Kick it with us May 15th and let's take it back to 1998 with a live DJ, free swag, and a chance to roll out on a brand new Kia K4 or Nissan Sentra. Use your Legends Rewards card to earn entries, fresh rides, fat stacks, free swag. Only at Legends Casino Hotel because fun is how we roll.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I know how to beat their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
Looking for a used vehicle? Trust the dealer with over 60 years in the Tri-Cities, Overturf Volkswagen. Find a large expanded inventory, fully serviced and thoroughly reconditioned vehicles, on-the-spot financing, top dollar for your trade. Overturf Volkswagen, Kennewick.
Early warnings, accurate forecasts.
Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Our winds are going to pick up by the middle and later half of this week, so that's why we have an alert day. For Wednesday and Thursday, the main focus is going to be the Kittitas Valley. High winds, very dry vegetation. And here's the overall synoptic setup. You see kind of this big gap in satellite coverage here. That is due to an area of high pressure, but there's this cold front that's going to pass, and it'll end up being a dry cold front, so that's going to pick up our winds. Here are the wind gusts for Wednesday. Seeing the Kittitas Valley gust around 50 miles per hour, and then you factor in how dry the vegetation is going to be. It's going to be that level 3 out of 5, very dry, which is indicated by this orange color. So that's Wednesday. Now for Thursday, again, the main concern will continue to be in the Kittitas Valley, gust around 40. I actually think during the evening the gust could be a little bit stronger than this, but you factor in the vegetation dryness. Once again, it's that level 3 out of 5, very dry. Okay. Friday is going to be the coup de grace. This is going to be the grand finale, if you will. And we're not just concerned about the Kittitas Valley this time. We're also concerned about the Yakima Valley, the Lower Columbia Basin, and the Blue Foothills. Some of those gusts between 35 to 60 miles per hour. The fire risk is going to be greater, and the blowing dust risk is going to be a factor as well. So for Friday, gusts around 50 miles per hour for the Lower Columbia Basin, the Blue Foothills, closer to 60 miles per hour in Ellensburg, places like Cle Elum and Thorpe and Roslyn as well. And the vegetation dryness is still going to be very dry for Friday. So the last half hour, we talked about how to prep for wildfires. This half hour, we'll talk about how to prep for a dust storm. Monitor, forecast, prepare your vehicle, protect your airways, plan limited travel, especially on US 395 around Connell. Me says you're headed up to like Ritzville, Spokane. That area is notorious for bad dust storms around this time of the year. Here's a 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities, mostly 80s and sunshine this week, although we'll have the potential for blowing dust on Friday. In Yakima, highs dropping briefly into the 70s by Friday and Saturday, with the windiest day being Friday. And then for Ellensburg, high winds and a wildfire threat for Wednesday through Friday. Can't rule out blowing dust on Friday either. Then for Hermiston, winds picking way up by the end of the week, with fire and blowing dust concerns on the rise. Finally for Walla Walla, the same cycle, beautiful weather through Thursday, then dicey with the winds and very dry vegetation on Friday. Now let's head out to New York City to see what's ahead on Good Morning America.
In this morning's GMA First Look, navigating soaring gas prices, with the national average per gallon now around $4.50, up more than 50% since the war with Iran began.
I am working to make ends meet and just survive.
Lisa McGee is an Uber driver outside Chicago. She says she's now paying double what she paid just a month ago for gas.
I'm working a whole extra day to make up for the gas prices. I am also working an extra 1 to 2 hours a day.
And with the Memorial Day travel rush less than 3 weeks away, experts warning it could get worse.
We could be seeing a national average rise to $4.55 to $4.75 by the time Memorial Day rolls around if the strait continues to be closed.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have the tips you need to help with this pain at the pump. With your GMA First Look, I'm Alex Perez, ABC News, Chicago.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis? With fewer symptoms from moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, where would you go? Imagine being a million miles away. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. And for adults with active psoriatic arthritis, Tremfya goes beyond the skin. Less joint pain, stiffness, and swelling is possible. And Tremfya even reduced fatigue. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Ask your doctor about Tremfya.
Now, the morning sprint.
6:49 is your time. Good morning. I'm Austin Reed. Here's what's happening in your national headlines this morning. Tensions are rising in the Strait of Hormuz after new military action. The U.S. says it sank 6 Iranian boats after reported missile and drone activity. Officials say U.S. and commercial ships were in the waterway at the time. Iran is disputing those claims. The situation is raising concerns about a fragile ceasefire. A man remains atop a bridge in Washington, D.C. after 3 days of protest. He says the demonstration is tied to the war in Iran and artificial intelligence. He posted he would come down, but has not given a timeline. Police are communicating with him and monitoring the situation. In your business headlines this morning, State Farm is facing legal action over wildfire claims down in California. Regulators accuse the company of delaying, denying, and underpaying claims. Officials say issues were found in many cases reviewed. The state is seeking millions in damages. It is also considering limits on new policies. Spirit Airlines has shut down operations after more than 30 years. All flights were abruptly canceled. It is the first major U.S. airline in decades to close due to financial issues. Thousands of passengers have been left stranded in recent days. Other airlines are offering limited fare options to help rebook travelers. 6:51 and to your health. The Supreme Court has temporarily restored access to an abortion drug by mail. The move blocks a lower court ruling that restricted access. The decision is temporary and will remain in place for now. Justices will review emergency appeals. A longer ruling is still pending. In your sports headlines this morning, the Seattle Mariners defeated the Atlanta Braves 5-4 last night. The win ended a 3-game losing streak for the M's. The Braves had entered the game on a 4-game winning streak. Seattle scored 5 runs in the 6th inning to take the lead. 2 home runs helped drive the comeback effort. The bullpen held the lead through the final innings to secure the win. All right, here are your top 5 local things you need to know this morning. Search crews continue working in Umatilla County this morning for a missing 69-year-old man. He was last seen Sunday during a family mushroom hunting trip right near Mount Emily Snow Park. Authorities say he was wearing a white shirt, tie-dye shorts, and red walking shoes. Officials are asking the public to stay clear of the area so search efforts are not disrupted today. A Prosser man faces multiple charges after police say he was driving extremely intoxicated. Officers say they spotted the 43-year-old driving erratically Sunday afternoon. Tests showed blood alcohol levels of 0.499 and 0.488. Police also discovered an outstanding DUI warrant and say he now faces multiple charges. Washington State Patrol is warning about an increase in mini bike incidents. Troopers say the bikes are not street legal and cannot keep up with highway speeds. Some top out around 35 miles per hour while traffic moves much faster. Many lack lights and riders are not always wearing helmets. This morning, troopers say parents could be held responsible and they are urging riding only on private property. Fire crews across central and southeast Washington are preparing for wildfire season. Officials say most wildfires are human-caused and often preventable. Common causes include dragging trailer chains, outdoor burning, and shooting on dry land. Crews are training and checking equipment ahead of increased activity. Residents are urged to follow burn bans and make safe decisions outdoors. Well, the Grandview Police Department is preparing for future growth as the city continues to expand. The department currently has 19 officers, but leadership says that is already below where it should be if growth continues. Officials say staffing could increase to around 30 officers within the next 6 years. They say hiring is a lengthy process, often taking close to a year from recruitment to full deployment. Leaders say they will continue adjusting staffing levels to keep up with demand and maintain public safety. 6:54 and trending this morning, a Spokane man completed in the Bloomsday race in a unique and physically demanding way.
That's right. He bear crawled the entire 7.5-mile course. Check it out. The effort took nearly 24 hours to complete. He says the goal was to raise awareness for addiction recovery.
Supporters gathered along the route to encourage him. He says the experience was meant to show that recovery is possible. That's tough.
That is crazy, but for an awesome cause.
100%. A Detroit firefighter is being recognized as a hero this morning after rescuing a woman from a burning vehicle. The rescue was captured on body camera video. Take a look. Officials say the vehicle caught fire after a crash.
The firefighter was able to reach the victim and pull her to safety. She suffered serious injuries and continues to recover. Her family credits first responders and medical staff for saving her life.
And we know that yesterday was Firefighter Day, International Firefighters Day, and also respecting the firefighters because wildfire season is coming.
Yeah,
fast.
it's picking up. Vegetation's getting dry enough. We're starting to see these dry, cold fronts pass us, and so that's going to pick up our fire risk as we head deeper into this week. We'll talk about that in just a second. First, I wanted to talk about temperatures for this morning. Guys, it feels fantastic out there. Let's go ahead and take a look at current temperatures. 50 for the Tri-Cities, 65 for Sunnyside, 58 in Yakima, 65 for Sunnyside. My goodness. Jeez. So maybe you wouldn't even need a light jacket in some of those instances. I think I would still personally go with a light jacket, though. We're going to be around sunny and 75 by lunchtime, and then we'll be into the mid-80s, low to mid-80s in the Tri-Cities for the warmest part of the day. So for today, for lower elevations, getting up into the 70s and 80s. Lots of sunshine, a beautiful Cinco de Mayo. If you have the opportunity to get out there and enjoy it, please do so. Okay, the precip chances, the temperatures staying fairly steady for this week. We'll keep it dry, mostly sunny, highs bounce between the 70s and 80s, but we do have multiple alert days for the back half of this week, Wednesday through Friday, because of fire, then for Friday because of fire and blowing dust. So here's how we're parsing it out. Wednesday and Thursday, alert days for the Kittitas Valley because of high winds, very dry vegetation. And then by the time we get to Friday, all lower elevations, the Kittitas Valley, the Yakima Valley, the Lower Columbia Basin, the Blue Foothills could see gusts spanning 35 to 60 miles per hour. So the fire risk is going to be up there. The blowing dust risk is going to be up there. You can go online to applevalleyNewsNow.com to see how to prevent wildfires, how to prep for dust storms, and also you can read that full First Alert weather forecast.
All right, and it is Cinco de Mayo. Real quick, your favorite tacos?
Tacos. Steak and a little green sauce on them.
I like that.
Yeah.
I love carnitas and lengua.
Oh.
Yeah.
You win.
Well, menudo. I like menudo as well. Yeah. I'm a little like that. All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a wonderful Cinco de Mayo. I'm Austin Reed with Josh Colbreth, hoping your news is good news.